Welcome back to another Andrew's Movie Reviews. Today we watched the movie Warfare, and I'm still not sure how I want to describe this film, just review-wise. Because, don't get me wrong, good film. Very good film. I just don't know how it left me feeling, if that makes sense. Like, I left the theater and I was just like, just not sure, I guess. So, I will preface by saying this. I'm going to have to compare this movie to Drop, which is the one I just watched, because right now that's probably my favorite film. But this film is either right at that level or surpasses it. So let me backtrack a little bit and let me talk about what I really liked about the film without spoiling it. So if you don't know, Warfare is based off of literal real events, like 100% retelling of an event, because the director was actually there and it was his team. Names changed, obviously, for confidential reasons, but it was literally the event being retold. So I don't think there was any script fluff, action fluff. I think it was literally just straight up what happened. Now, obviously, the realism is what this movie's about. So I guess the way to describe this is if you're really into military, like, I don't even know, like, military history or just military in general, I think the way I would describe this is if you play a lot of like military simulator games, like you're super into that kind of role play, or you play games like I don't know, like Arma Reforger, those other kind of games, I feel like you would absolutely fucking love this movie. And I don't blame you, because it's, I don't know if I can say it's realistic, because obviously I wasn't fucking there and I'm not a military expert, but from what I assume, it's super realistic. I'm not super into military simulators. Like, obviously I like military films, but I'm never going to be like playing a military sim. The most military sim game I play is probably Hell Let Loose, but that's because it's a World War II game and I fucking love World War II games. So don't get me wrong, I think it was really good. I just don't know if I'm 100% the correct audience for this film, but I do not at all regret watching it. I'm actually really happy. I left the theater, I can't speak. But I left the theater happy. So let me just give let me give a number real quick. So I haven't given a number yet because I'm still deciding if I liked it more than Drop. And I do think I did, mostly because I can't see myself rewatching Drop, but I could see myself rewatching this film. Just not anytime soon, but also Drop is kind of like a thriller mystery. So once you watch it once, you kind of lose like the mystery part of it. So I don't think I'm giving this an 8. I'm going to be a stickler and give it probably a 7.9. So I will say this is probably my favorite film I've watched this year. Just barely, mostly based on the fact that this is a little bit more rewatchable than what Drop was. So 7.9, still not an 8. Maybe if I was feeling generous when I update this on my letterbox tomorrow, I'll make it an 8. But I just didn't leave this theater feeling like 8 material. Now, my grading system is really stupid. Like, it makes no sense to anyone but me. It's like when I watch a film, I can just know when it's an 8 or a 9 or like a 7. I can just feel it, right? It has to leave me feeling a certain way. Like, my favorite movie I watched this year, probably on God, was Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. When I watched that film, I was like, fuck yeah, I love this film. And I gave it like a high 8, almost a 9. So I just know. It makes no fucking sense, but this is my goddamn review channel, so I'm gonna review on my scale. But yeah, let me backtrack to the actual review part. So, like I said, this is a very accurate military military reenactment film. So I'll say this, and then because I don't know how much I can say without spoiling it. So let me get into this point. The fucking sound design in this movie was mwah, French fucking kiss. It was fan fucking tastic. My one complaint is maybe the gun sounds were a little too beefy, and obviously I'm not an guns expert, what do you want to call it? So I don't know if it's supposed to sound like that, but it did feel a little too beefy and became a little too unrealistic. That being said, I'm pretty sure it's illegal to use real gun sounds in a movie. Even though I'm pretty sure Civil War did it, and Civil War is also Alex Garland who helped direct this film. So yeah, but the sound design was fucking amazing. There's parts where like these jets fly in super close, and like you can hear the jet fly by, and then like a couple seconds later, not even a couple seconds, like a second later, you hear the aftershock because it's faster than the speed of sound. Sorry, faster than the speed of sound. And there's like some explosion jump scares that are like fucking amazing because they catch you off guard, but it's so beefy and so like crazy good. Sound design is the best part, and there's literally no soundtrack. There's no fucking soundtrack whatsoever. Everything is relied on the drama, and I actually kind of like that. I don't think it needed the soundtrack, which is a good touch in my opinion. So let me get into the spoiler part real quick, because I don't know how much I can say without spoiling it. So, spoiler part. So I think the thing, I don't want to say that hurt this film, because again, it depends on what kind of a movie person, what kind of a hobbyist, I guess, what your taste is. Let's put it that way. What your taste is. Depends on what your taste is. I think personally, the realism became a little too real to the point that it wasn't as entertaining as I thought it could be. And it's not like it wasn't like crazy. Like obviously it's a true story, so everything that happened was fucking crazy. I just think we as a movie going generation are spoiled by Hollywood. Like I guess you can compare this film to like Black Hawk Down. Now I know Black Hawk Down is based off a real thing, a real war. I don't know if it was an actual situation, but I'm pretty sure it was given the Hollywood fluff treatment, right? Okay, really quickly, this is post editing, Andrew. I just want to clarify a few things. So, Black Hawk Down, I Googled this, so I hope it's 100% correct. But Black Hawk Down was a real situation based off a novel, and it did say they portrayed it pretty accurately because it was an actual event that actually happened. I think a better example would probably be American Sniper, which was a real story, but Hollywood kind of dramatized the hell out of it. So my entire point with this was trying to say that Hollywood is so used to dramatizing actual events that like we're so used to that certain aspect of dramatization that when we get the actual real events, it might actually not bore us, but make us lose interest since action isn't happening 24/7. It isn't super over the top. It's just like that's what we're so used to as a movie going society nowadays. So this film really doesn't have any of that Hollywood fluff. So it's just straight up realism how it was back then. And in some cases, for some people, that might hurt the film that way. So this film literally takes place in one building for an hour and a half with some like a little bit of outside clips and some pre-movement stuff, whatever, right? But it all takes place in one building and it just recaps the story. And like, it's cool. I don't want to say it drags on. It's just like, sometimes it's like, I'm just waiting for something to happen. I guess one way I could word it is that sometimes they were just like in the building talking and I'm just like wondering in my head, it's like, why is the enemy not attacking? Because obviously I don't know military tactics. I don't know how this shit fucking works, but I'm a dumb non-military mind. And I'm like, why are they just talking when there's like a bunch of bad guys outside? And maybe that's just Hollywood of me, that a bunch of like random people would just burst into the door and like lay the place under siege. But it never really happened. Like the enemy felt like they were very passive in the film. And I guess I'm just not used to a passive enemy in a movie-going audience, or in a movie-going experience, I should say. Does that kind of make sense? And like, I just felt like a lot. It was kind of like how I felt about Last Breath in a way. I felt like some crazy shit happened, but I expected it to get crazier, if that makes sense. That's actually a great way to describe it. Last Breath was kind of the same way I felt, where obviously everything that happened was fucking crazy, but I kind of thought it would have gotten crazier, and it kind of didn't. Still crazy, don't get me wrong, but I thought it could have been crazier. But, like I said, it's a realistic film. It's a realistic depiction of what happened. So I can't complain that it's being realistic, but I can just say, like I've been saying, it's not my exact taste, but it was still, again, really fucking good. Acting, really fucking good. Like the fact that like when people are hurt, they're actually fucking screaming, like guttural screams. And like, it's just like a lot of the sound design of like drowning them out. So like drowning out the screams, like it felt so real. And like the PTSD, like they were having mid battle, I guess. It was fucking crazy. So I guess, I don't know what else to really talk about. The acting was really good. Sound design was really good. The script, it felt real. It was nothing crazy. It wasn't meant to be crazy. It was meant to be realistic. So I'm sure if you don't know military lingo, you would get lost a little bit in the dialogue. Not that it was super hard to understand, but like I just don't know if everyone will understand it. But again, this movie is not made for everyone. It's made for the military people. So yeah. So I guess just to recap this, like I was saying, just real quick, this movie, not for everyone, but still a good watch. If you're obviously, like I said, if you're into military simulators and stuff like that, you're gonna like this. I am not super into it, but I still enjoyed the movie. So I think it's a good watch. I think you should go out of your way to watch it, especially because of the sound design. You should watch it somewhere with great speakers, because if you're watching this on your phone, it's not going to hit. So watch it somewhere with some good fucking sound system, because that's like genuinely the biggest attraction to this film. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, 7.9. Probably my favorite film. I did enjoy it, but not an 8. Let's put it that way. Not an 8 yet. So we're still waiting for our first 8. The Amateur, I'm probably going to watch next. I kind of pre-spoiled myself with the reviews, and they don't look like they're fantastic. So I guess we'll see when we watch it. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys feel the same way I did, let me know. This review might, like, some of you might relate to this review. Some of you might fucking hate it. I don't know. Again, this is my opinion. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will be back with more reviews eventually. Have a fantastic rest of your day.